Hey everyone, and welcome to Virtual Crochet here at the Earlville Public Library. And we're doing crochet in person and virtually this month and in the months to come here. So if you're interested, stop in or keep watching these videos. Today we're going to continue our work on the Checkerboard Textures Crochet Throw by Yarnspirations. A link to that free pattern is in the description box below, or you can stop in and we have some printed out that you can have for free. And today we're working on textured square number 5, and that is raised treble crochet. So we're going to work with some trebles and some single crochets and some chains and that sort of thing. The skill level for this square is also easy, so hope you'll find that that's true for you while we're doing this project. I'll show you here what I have made already, and you can see it's a little bit like the popcorn stitch that we did last week. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And the ones that come before it, we will have learned a total of I think 11 squares, 10 fun patterns and 1 granny square. But it looks a little bit like the popcorn with these raised sections, and on the back it's flat. This is a one-sided design. And you can see my little mistake here where I ran out of my fun crazy colored yarn and had to substitute with a little bit of blue. I played yarn chicken and I lost. So this is what we're going to make, and in order to do that, step 1 is to use a hook that is a size smaller than the one you used for the granny square. That was the first square we learned. In my case, that's an H, and we're going to chain 36 loosely so that we have a little bit of give in there when we go back to do our border. I won't go into detail about slip knots and chaining, so if you'd like to see a more detailed explanation, click on one of our previous videos from this crochet series. Now I have 36 chains all lined up here, and I'm ready to go on to row 1. The first row says to work in the back loops only and put 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain to the end of the chain. So basically it's just a row of single crochets. And to get started, we're going to skip this first single crochet on our first chain on our hook, and we're going to go into this second one. And we're only going to go into this back loop here. So I'm not going to yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook into that back loop, not into both of the loops like we might have for our traditional foundation row, but just the back loop. Yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2. And I'm going to do that again to the next stitch. No yarn over, but insert into that back loop only. Yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2. And now I'm going to continue single crocheting all the way to the end of the chains. I'm at the end of my chains, and I have one more space to put one more single crochet. So no yarn over, but right through that stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2. And now I should have 35 single crochets because I had 36 chains and then I skipped one to make these single crochets. So 35 single crochets, and we're ready for row 2. Row 2 says to chain 1 and put 1 single crochet in the first stitch. So we'll chain 1, yarn over through the loop on your hook, turn your work, and then 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And we're going to do this one like normal, and if we look, we can see the V's here of that first stitch. I'm going to go under both of those loops there, and then yarn over back through that stitch, yarn over through 2. That was my first single crochet, and now they want us to put 1 treble crochet in the next stitch and a single crochet in the next one, and repeat from where you see the beginning of that star. So we're going to alternate between treble crochets and single crochets. For a treble, we yarn over twice and then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then yarn over through 2 again. 3 sets of 2 for a treble crochet. Now we're going to put our single crochet in the next stitch, no yarn over this time. Insert the hook through the stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2. And it's time for another treble. 2 yarn overs, insert the hook, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And it's time for a single. Insert the hook in the next stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2. And so on and so forth until you get to the end of the row. I have one more space for one more stitch here on my project, and it should be a single crochet, because if you look at your directions, you see that a single crochet is how that bit inside of the asterisks ends. So that's where you want to end on your project. So I just made a treble crochet here, so I'm ready to put a single crochet in my last stitch, and I will have finished my second row. So I should have 35 stitches in this row. The instructions list that means 18 single crochets and 17 treble crochets if you want to count that way. Row number 3. You're going to want to chain 1, turn your work, and put 1 single crochet in each stitch for the row. So here's our chain 1, 1 chain, turn your work, and now you can see those puffs appearing on your work. They're actually going to be created when you can't see them. You'll be working them when you're on the wrong side of the work. So when you turn it over, that'll be a nice surprise. So we've chained 1, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in this first stitch here. You can always turn your work towards you to see those sideways V's if you need to know where to go. And insert our hook there. It should be a single crochet from the row below, and I'll put 1 single crochet there. And then we're going to work on top of this treble crochet, and just like our last stitch, it has a V, and we're going to go through both of those stitches there. I have to turn my work the right way though. We're going to go through both of those loops, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2. Next door is another V for a single crochet, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, and keep making single crochets in the top of every stitch until you get to the end of the row. I have room for 1 more stitch here. I'm at the end of my row, so I'm going to put my last single crochet in this stitch here. And now I should have 35 single crochets on top of all of those trebles and singles I made from the row below. We're ready for the 4th row. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Chain 1, turn, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. This is going to shift where our treble crochets end up, so that instead of rows of treble crochet bumps, we'll have offset rows of treble crochet bumps, kind of like the popcorn stitch. Our popcorns also alternated depending on what row we were on. So 2 single crochets, so 1 single crochet in this first stitch, another single crochet in this next stitch, and now we're getting ready to repeat. So we'll have 1 treble crochet in the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the stitch after that, just like before. The only thing that was different about this row was the setup. 2 single crochets to start out instead of 1. So now I'll make my treble, 2 yarn overs, insert our hook into the next stitch on our project, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then a single crochet in the next stitch, and a treble crochet in the next stitch, and a single crochet in the next stitch. On and on you go till you get to the end of the row. So I'm at the end of my row. I did a treble crochet here and a single crochet here, and I do have 1 stitch left, and our instructions say that we should have had a single crochet from our last repeat, which was this one, and then 1 more single crochet to finish it off. So we have 2 single crochets at the beginning, and we'll have 2 single crochets at the end. So here's my last single crochet for this row, and now I'm finished. So I've got 35 stitches should be in this row too. And now it all looks kind of boring until we flip it over, and then we'll see all of our little raised textured parts. Row number 5. Row number 5 says to work it like we did row number 3, which was a chain 1 and a 1 single crochet all the way to the end of the row. So it's just a single crochet row. So chain 1, turn your work and take a look at all of your fun raised stitches, and we're going to put 1 single crochet just in each stitch on down the row. Here I am, I've got one more space for one more single crochet at the end of this row. Whoops. He got away from me there. And there we have another row of single crochets on top of our work. Now we're at the big repeat. So rows 6 through 33 should be a repeat of the 2nd through 5th rows. So you're going to repeat row 2, 3, 4, 5, and then repeat row 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way until you've done 33 rows. And you can see the way that I keep track is that I write, I started here with rows 6 through 33, and I wrote 6 through 33 on this paper, and then each time I did a row, I crossed it off, and I also made a note that row 6 was a repeat of the 2nd row up here. So I knew that 1, 2, 3, 4, every 5th row was going to be a 2nd row to help me keep track of which row I was repeating. So keep on this project or on this process until you get the hang of it. So after you've done your row 33, it says to repeat for the 34th and 35th rows, you're going to repeat just the 2nd and 3rd rows. So after you've gotten to row 33, repeat the row 2 pattern and then repeat the row 3 pattern, and that should be a single crochet row to end you up where you need to be. So we can do one more row together. This is going to be like row 2, which only has one single crochet at the front and the end of the trebles. So chain 1, turn your work, and we'll put one single crochet here, followed by a treble, followed by another single crochet, followed by another treble, and that pattern will repeat to the end of this row. Then you'll turn and do a row of straight single crochets. Then you'll turn and do a row where you have 2 single crochets before you start alternating between treble and single crochet. Rewind through rows 2 through 5 if you need a second look at how it works, but I'm going to let you finish that, and I'm going to grab my finished one and show you how to do the border. Here's a picture of another square that I've made in the same pattern, and I'm getting ready to do the border, and I ended with this row of single crochets. I just made a single crochet row across the top, and if you've ended on a single crochet row, you know you've done it right. And we're getting ready to go along this side of our project now. In order to make our corner, we're going to put a single crochet here in our next stitch, chain 3, and a single crochet back in that same stitch. So that was the last single crochet of our single crochet row that we did. So we put our little corner loopy there, and now we're ready to work alongside of our border on this side of the square. I forgot my stitch markers again, so I'm just going to use these needles that I have, and I am going to skip the first row, which they say is 35, so that's this row up here. We're going to skip this row, and then it says also to skip row 18. So we started down here, here's our tail, and we can count, we started down here, here's our tail, and we can count each one of these bumpy rows. I'm going to count as 2 because they are basically composed of a treble crochet, single crochet, alternating row, and then a row of single crochets. So those are kind of built in. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So when we get to row 18, we're going to skip that one too. That should give us the 33 single crochets we're looking for if we go in each row. So we're going to skip this row, which is row 35. That one has single crochets in it. So row 34 is the row that's attached to our treble crochets here. So we'll put one there, and then we'll put one in the single crochet row, and then we'll put one in the treble crochet row. Gotta get myself some more yarn here. And then one in the single crochet row, in the treble crochet row, and keep going until you get to that stitch marker. So here was my stitch marker, so I'm going to take that out. I'm going to skip this stitch and go into the next one. And now I'm going to count and see how I did. When you count, remember, don't count the first single crochet that you made over here with your loopy, because this is part of the corner. You're going to want to start on the second crochet or second single crochet of that row. Should have 33. Now I'm ready for another corner. So in this last stitch over here, I'm going to put a single crochet, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and another single crochet in that very same stitch. And that gives us our corner loopy. Now we can rotate our work, and it gets a little easier because we're working along the bottom, which were just a row of single crochets to start us out. So they're a little easier to find. And you're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to the last stitch of this row, and that should give you 33 before your corner. And now I'm going to check my work and count again. Alright, I got 33, so I'm going to put a single crochet in this last stitch, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and another single crochet right in that same space for my next corner. Now I can rotate the work again and work down this side of our project. And we're going to work in the same fashion where we're going to discount what would be the 25th row up here and the 18th. So let me find the 18th row. I'm going to do that again. We had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So I'll put that there. And then we can just start putting our single crochets in each row, in the side of each row, until we get to that stitch marker. Now we're at the stitch marker, so I'll remove that, and then I'm going to skip this stitch and go into the next one. So now I have 33 stitches on this side, and I'm ready to put a corner here. Insert my hook into that last stitch, yarn over through 2, 3 chains, single crochet in that same stitch, and we have our last corner. Now it says to join with a slip stitch in that first single crochet. So here's our first single crochet of the row. So we're gonna slip by sliding our hook into the next stitch, yarning over back through the stitch, and directly through the stitch on our hook as well. And there we have completed our square. Now you can take some scissors and cut off your excess, and you can send that tail right through the loop from your hook and cinch it up and weave in your ends. And now you have finished another square for this big project. Alright, so as you can see, it looks a little different depending on the kind of yarn you use, but this is kind of what you can expect. And let me know if you have any questions along the way. Also, once again, we are meeting in person again on the second and last Wednesdays of the month between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Here at the library, if you'd like to come in and share your projects with everybody else. So thank you once again for watching. We hope you were enjoying these videos. Feel free to leave a comment down below to let us know that you're enjoying them. Check out our other videos here on YouTube. It is November, and I think when this goes up, it's like the day before Thanksgiving. So if you're looking for something to do, the librarians and I filmed Thanksgiving meals in a mug last Thanksgiving, and that's still here on YouTube if you'd like to check that out. It's a good laugh. We did everything in a microwave, in a mug, or mugs-ish, except for the turkey we made in an air fryer. So if you're looking for a new recipe this year, it worked pretty well. But I'll let you watch the video and decide for yourself. We've also got some fun podcasts going on here on YouTube. Off the Clock Library Talk is a chill, fun, activity-laden podcast. And then Book Review Bites is just a virtual book club where the librarians and I get together and discuss what we've read. Send pictures of anything you're working on to our Facebook group. We have two. We have facebook.com/Earlville Public Library is our general Facebook page. And then we have one just for the crochet group. So check out both of them. You can join them if you'd like and follow us and keep track and share your pictures. The crochet group is a great way to do that because you can just share your photos and everybody can see them and support you in your progress. Like I said, there's a link to this pattern in the description box below, or you can stop in and grab one for yourself. And that's it. We will see you again next time for another square in our project. Bye!